Oh, wait, wrong way. Wait. It's because we're looking at the TV and it's opposite.
Right.
Go to the right. Go to the right.
Okay. Go to the right. You're right. My right. Wait,
We have the same right, Angela. Hey. Sorry for the people who on podcast, because you can't see this dance. What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of For the Girls. We're talking about love languages. Specifically, what do you do when you're dating someone that has a different love language than you? Or can it even work? So let's first start off by going around and telling everybody what our love language is and then what our husband's.
Well, you were going to start with the first. You were going to tell everybody.
Yeah. Let me name out the 5. So the first one is gifts, which is, I think, one of the easiest love languages. It doesn't take much effort. Gifts. There's quality
you would
time.
Think that.
Well, yeah, it depends on how bougie you are.
or just how oblivious the other person is.
The other person can be totally oblivious.
Yeah,
or a bad gift giver.
Exactly.
Like,
I'm sorry, keep going.
Here's a roll of tissue.
Thanks.
Okay, the 5 love languages are gifts, acts of service, quality time, words of affirmation, and physical touch. Physical touch, words of affirmation, gifts, quality time.
Did you say physical touch?
I started with that. Acts of service. Okay. There we go. So let me give a brief description of like what each one is, because that was kind of fast. So obviously gifts, that means that you feel loved when people gift you things. Gifts are your love language. Quality time is you feel loved and cared for when you spend quality time with your person. You don't need gifts. You just want quality time. Then acts of service is when somebody does things for you. So for example, like opening my door, or if I mentioned my car needed to be cleaned, you spent time cleaning it for me. So you're doing acts of service to show your love and appreciation. Physical touch is very straightforward. It is you like being touched and kissed and loved on and all of that. PDA. Physically touched. And then the last one, words of affirmation, is when you like to hear love. So basically you like being told that I love you and you're great and you're beautiful and you're awesome. So words. So a lot of times people don't just have one love language. They have a combination of a few.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to know what your guys' love languages are, and then opposite of you, what your husband's love language is.
I'll start. I am words of affirmation and acts of service.
Okay.
With like a smidge of physical touch.
Okay.
Gifts are cool, but you know, those things make me tick. And then Rashawn on the other end, he is acts of service and quality time. So I think there's one that we have similar, but one that's different for sure.
Yeah.
And then I used to think his was physical touch. I actually brought that up in a previous episode. And of course, we know he watches all of them. He's like, it is not physical touch. And I was like, are you sure? I thought we went over this.
How do you know?
And he was like, just because I like to have sex doesn't mean that.
I mean,
most men just like it.
I was like, okay, good point.
That's funny.
so mine is acts of service and gifts.
Okay. I could see gifts. I could see gifts.
You saw her face when she said it.
Now,
What about Shane?
we got to talk about trying to get my husband as a better gift giver. But Shane's is physical touch and quality time.
Okay.
So mine is physical touch and acts of service. That is all I need right there. Dre is words of affirmation and quality time. So very opposite.
I could see that.
So it's obvious from us expressing our love languages that yes, you can be in a relationship with someone who has different love languages than you. And yes, it works.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's actually really good to have different love languages because it just means you have to be more intentional with how you show love and then making sure that you're communicating how you like to receive love.
Yeah.
It is a book.
Hard.
It is hard.
I was going to say there's some tweaking involved.
Because Shane and I have had some challenges in our relationships because we have opposite love languages.
Do you want to share?
Yeah, absolutely. So So Shane's love language, his primary love language, I think, is physical touch. He has told me that it is starting to change and it's starting to become quality time. However, I still believe it's physical touch. Like, this man is a very, like, he loves to just be rubbed on, kissed on. Like, he loves, as Sean has said to Angela, getting butt.
That's exactly how he says it. I want some butt.
You know, like that's how he feels loved. Like, I can tell when Shane just needs some sex. I can tell when I can tell when he needs like some physical touch. Like, his mood, I mean, is completely different after the fact.
Yeah, it's some release.
I mean, for real. So it's like, I know that's what Shane needs, but because that's not my love language,
it's hard for you to understand.
Sometimes it's hard for me because I think naturally most people tend to show other people love how they like to be loved.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I was going to say.
It's natural,
I think that's
right?
in the book. We read the book years ago.
So for me, I was always doing things for Shane, and I'm a really good gift giver. So I was always buying him things and doing things like that. And
Felt like he was killing the game.
Girl, I was like, oh, I'm fucking killing it. like I got my man this. Like, I'm over here doing this and this for him without him even having to ask me about it. Like, I'm really good at taking initiative and just doing things.
Yeah.
And so I'm over here thinking I'm fucking killing it, you know? But for him, like, he appreciated those things. But there was a time, especially so, like, you know, my child, at the time of this recording, my child is little. She's only 1 year old. So, you know, Shane and I have gone through a journey of pregnancy and then recent postpartum. And during that time, there's not a lot of physical touch there wasn't a lot of physical touch happening in my household because during the latter of my pregnancy, I was big as a house. My titties were in pain. I didn't want no one to touch me. And then after,
it's a whole nother show,
you know, and then after, like, when Capri was here, you know, I was struggling a lot with being a new mom, and then I was struggling a lot with breastfeeding and then having mom guilt. And so there was just so much where there was a period in that where I just did not want to have sex. And that was really, really difficult. We had challenges in that space, and we've had a lot of hard conversations, and we still have conversations now about, like, he wants even more sex, where I'm like, I think, you know, I'm like, oh great, we're having more frequent sex, and he's like, oh, I would like more, and I'm like, more shit. I was killing it, you know. So it's like, it's moments like that where you might think that you are showing your partner so much love. However, if they're communicating to you that you're not, you know, doing enough, that's sometimes kind of difficult. Like, for me, I took it very personally at moments. Like, you just don't understand. Like, I'm a new mom. Like, this is hard for me. And then also there was, like, some resentment built in because there was aspects in our relationship where I felt like he wasn't showing me the type of love that I want, you know? And so it was definitely difficult. Yes, it can be done, but if you're not both actively working on it and communicating about your needs to each other, then honey, it can cause some strife in the relationship.
I would say that physical touch is one of the hardest ones. If you don't feel love through physical touch, if your partner is a physical touch person, I think that's one of the hardest ones to get by or to like work on. When Dre and I first started dating, we read the book and like we talked within like 3 months of dating, like, what's your love language? And physical touch was very difficult for him. Like, he's just not a touchy-feely person.
I'm the same way.
And I used to cry sometimes because, like, we would be in public and I would, like, go to hold his hand or something, and he would, like, it almost made me feel disgusting. Like, he just didn't even like me, let alone love me. And I would be like, dude, what? Like, just hold my hand. And he's just like, nah. And I would be like, what in the world? Like, and I cried about it one time to a friend, and I was like, why? Like, it's so simple. And I had to have a conversation like, you really make my feelings hurt when you don't do simple things like hold my hand when we're in public, or if we're like at a couples thing, like, and I'm looking around, and not to compare, but it happens. You see everyone else, you know, thighs getting rubbed on, kisses on the cheeks, and hand holding, arms around. And I'm like, you don't be doing that. You be treating me like I'm a homeboy. And it was, on one hand, we're waiting for marriage, so we had very strict boundaries, but we could hold hands. And so like weeks later, he came to me and was like, okay, I think I realized, he's like, I don't know why, but like hand holding to me just seems very childish. Like he would put his arm around me and walk in, but that's uncomfortable, you know? So I always wanted to hold hands. And he said specifically holding hands is like, he just feels like it's childish. And he had to mentally get over that. Cause I'm like, well, too bad. I'm a grown woman and I want my hand held. So we need to figure it out. And he had to really work on being mindful of when I would reach out to do those things, to just allow it to happen. But then also to actually be the one to make it happen in the first place, like initiate it. And now it's like, you would never think that he had any issues with like PDA or like physical touch, because he's super lovey-dovey, but we've been together like 6 years now. So it's definitely a process. And I think, as Cece said, you know, when someone doesn't receive your love in the way that you're giving it, it feels like almost an attack, or like dang. And for him, he was like, am I not doing enough? I'm like, I tell you every day I love you. Like, I'm doing all these acts of services. I always open your doors. Yeah, all these things. I spend tons of quality time with you. You know, he was showing all the other love languages. He would even, well, not really on the gifts, but sometimes like he would do little things. Yeah. And I'm like, you're doing all the things that are so great, except the thing that I really want, which is just some good old loving, like hug me down, okay? Yeah. And it takes time to work through it. So have you had any challenges with your guys' differences in your love languages?
Challenges. Yes.
Do tell.
I mean, I think both of you said it best. It is a process. So, and it can get frustrating and you can feel very attacked. And I'm just going to bring up like a specific example. Sean is, you guys know, he's very acts of servicey. Like, he got me a song on our anniversary, like stuff like that. Like he goes above and beyond for people he loves. And it's just amazing. And I guess sometimes I take that for granted because I don't realize that he wants that in return, you know? So he's gonna kill me. So, you know, going into sex and stuff, Sean always wanted me to do like lingerie and a dance for him. And it was always really weird to me. I don't know about other dancers, but like I've had conversations with other dancers. It's like, that's a little, it can get a little like embarrassing. You know, you got to really go into a mode. Like, I know when I was on stage, I was like a different person. And so when you're in a bedroom with one person, it's like,
it's like, it's funny. Kind of, it's like,
on top of wearing lingerie, you know?
Do you like this?
You like what you see?
Like, I'm very like 1, 2, 3, 4, like with counts, and then like you got to improv and with your cho-cha out, like.
I cannot.
And I tried to explain to him how uncomfortable it was, but he wasn't hearing me. He's like, in my brain, you love me if you do the things that show me you love me. You do the services, the acts of services. And I'm like,
I mean, I
like, is this truth or dare?
I totally relate to that. Because like Shane is the same way. He also likes me to wear outfits. He likes, you know, likes me to dress up. And we had to have a conversation about this because, you know, physical touch is not my love language, right? So I also kind of get, Angela and I have talked about how we both get bashful sometimes in the bedroom.
Very bashful.
And so there was things
that be ready to roll.
Yes, there was things that Shane wanted to do that like made me feel like a porn star.
Yeah,
and for real, and it was like, you know, while I want to take care of my man and please him in whatever way, you know, he desires, also there are things that I'm just not naturally comfortable with because I'm not a porn star. You know what I'm saying? So we had to have a conversation about like, I don't feel comfortable with this. Like, I know that this is like what you like. And also we had to have a conversation about expectations, right? Like, I know a lot of men out there watch porn, right? So, but you need to have some separation between porn and reality, right? Because your wife most times probably won't do a lot of the things that you might see shorty, you know what I'm saying, on whatever site you're going to doing. I mean, for real. So like, we also had to have conversations about that, and you know, about like, I'm willing to do anything for my man, but also like there has to be expectations.
Yeah,
you know,
and that was like tough. And then like he had said it, and I still hadn't like in my brain I was planning it out, and like I couldn't figure it out. Like, so time was going on, and then like an argument came up. You don't love me because you don't do things I ask, and I'm like, fuck, like I do love you. I do this, I do that. And I was doing acts of service, like folding his clothes and putting them away. I organizing his life, and I thought that was showing
was enough,
right?
Yeah, same.
That's a daily struggle. Literally today, before y'all came in here, I was organizing Dre's life, and I'm like, oh, the things I do for him.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Packing his luggage.
Especially because that is a lot. It does require a lot, especially like when you guys have children. Doing all these things, acts of service, on top of having a little baby that you have to do everything for, on top of yourself that you have to do things for.
Right.
It's like, is this not enough? You know what I'm saying? But it's like, for them, it's like,
but
no.
I wanted him to feel loved, so one night I like took about 6 shots back. And I don't know what happened, but he liked it.
Oh my God.
I mean, honestly, you know, drunk sex is great sex.
I don't know what the dance looked like either.
Right. Well,
I was sore that
I would
that
love to have been a fly on the wall.
It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter because he enjoyed it, right?
I was nervous. I was like,
yeah.
oh shit.
Do you dance now without the shots?
Nah, no.
Special occasions only. It's reserved for birthdays
special
and
occasions,
holidays.
like I was never a lingerie girl, but I know he likes that.
Yeah.
So I'll go and get something cute for him.
Yeah.
And the thing that bothers me about lingerie is that it's only on for like 10 seconds. Like, I'm like, why am I spending $80 on something that's on for 10 seconds?
So keep it on.
He takes it off.
Tell him I want to keep this on. I mean, and then he can rip open and do whatever he likes.
Lord.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, keep it on.
So for special occasions, I do get a little something for him. The last time I danced was when we were in our rental, so I need to give him a dance in our home.
Oh yeah, you haven't like
but
broken in the
again,
home
since
yet?
we've been in our home, he's been training to be the top Hercules ever. So he's been tired. So that just finished. So I'm gonna try and do the things he likes, the things that show him. Another good example is he takes the time to really figure out what would make me happy for gifts. And so with him, this was a big argument. I remember this because he felt like he did that. He felt like I should do that as well. Mm-hmm. So I thought I was getting him nice gifts, you know what I'm saying? But I guess he said I wasn't listening to him. Mm-hmm. I didn't hear the things he wanted. So, and then I was like, well, you're picky, you're critical, you're this. So we had to come to an understanding like, hey, Sean, like he had to understand that, you know, sometimes I'm not going to get exactly what you want on the dot. I think personally, I'm a little more like anything makes me happy. Like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
He's more specific. So we had to understand that about each other. It took years, many arguments to come to that understanding. So,
and you know what's funny about that? So my birthday is on Saturday, so upcoming Saturday as we're filming, and I said to Dre yesterday, I was like, so you're getting me a gift, right? And he looked and was like,
that you made it clear.
And the reason why is because, again, I mean, think about it. Angela and Sean have been together for 8 years?
Yeah.
Me and Dre have been together 6 years, and these conversations still happen. It's not an overnight thing. So I know that for me personally, I'm not a gift person. Like, I don't need gifts to feel loved. However, my birthday is very special to me.
Special.
And yeah, and it's like the thing is too, love languages can definitely change, and that's why it's very important to continue to have conversations, continue to check in, because as of lately, I think the more like successful that we get, I'm like, I do like gifts, but I like gifts. I'm very specific to Sean. I just don't want anything.
Right.
I want specific things that like I've been wanting this thing. It would be great if like I could get it.
Yeah.
Versus you just coming in every day bringing me something. But it's the small things that matter. But on my birthday specifically, I like to feel very special, and that's the one day that I feel like you should go all out. It's even more than Valentine's Day. So, you know, on Sunday we have like this whole spa like retreat set up that we're going to for the day, and I'm getting every service that they offer basically. And I was like, I hope he doesn't think this is my birthday present. Only because it's on Sunday. So I was like, okay, so Saturday, and he's doing it with me too. So it's kind of like, it's like, well, you know, you're getting it too. So it's not really special.
It's an act of service for
and that
both. might
might be petty and childish, but that's how I am. Like, I want my actual birthday on Saturday to be special.
Yeah.
As soon as I said that, he was like, thank you for saying that. You did not have to say that already. I have it figured out. Like, I got you. And I was like, yay. But I would have beat myself in the butt if come Saturday I didn't have a gift and I didn't. It would have been on me, not
like,
on him.
Dre just probably needs he needs help.
Yeah,
like, that's what I'm saying. It's okay to like say it. And don't be embarrassed to say it.
Yeah.
You know?
I know for sure Shane needs a little bit of help in both of my love languages. And so we've actually had in-depth conversations. So we have regular check-ins.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
so important.
Are your needs being met?
Are you good?
Like, are you good? Are we good?
Could I be doing something better?
Can I be doing something better? And so these are, and I highly recommend that for all couples. If you guys are not having regular check-ins, just be like, hey, are all of your needs being met?
Yeah.
Can I be doing anything better for you? Yeah. Like, and vice versa. And so
you'd be surprised.
Okay. Right. Where
what's going on right under your roof.
Closed mouths. Right. And then that causes resentment, and you know, resentment causes bad decisions. Yeah. And so in our check-ins are the times where we can vocalize, like, you know, I love you. However, you know, I feel like I could use a little bit more help around the house.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm doing everything and I'm fucking exhausted. I have to manage you. I have to manage Capri. I have to manage myself. I have to manage my mom. You know, so it's a lot for me. So I need you to step it up in that area. You know, also, and we're working on it, but also we just bought a house. So I know a lot of expenses are going to this house, but my husband's not the best. He's not a good gift giver. I'm not even gonna say the best. He's not a good gift giver.
Interesting. He's not. He was.
No.
Okay.
No. And I know his mama watches our podcast, and so she can attest. Like, the man needs some help. Okay. Yeah.
Give me an example.
So I can give you an example about me and his mama. Shit. I mean, like even like, so his mom recently had a birthday. And all she asked him for was to send her a card. You know, just send your mother a card to know that you still love her. And he dropped the ball on that. He didn't do it. He didn't send anything. He didn't send anything. He may have called her, but like, he didn't send anything. And me, on the other hand, I'm like, oh shit, it's Miss Deborah's birthday. Like, we gotta lay it out. So I sent her a beautiful flower arrangement. You did. You know, cause I like to give gifts. I'm a really good gift giver. My husband's not. He for my birthday, you know, I said to him, I wanted this Chanel. And then I said to him, you know, baby, instead of the Chanel, just give me the money and I'll invest it. Well, you know what? Maybe he should have got me the Chanel and some money to invest. You know, like, because I really wanted both. He just Venmo'd me money.
Oh, Shane.
That was it. Like,
okay,
he Venmo'd me the money. That and that was it. You know, and so it's like, you know, we just bought this house, and I'm really into design, and I want to furnish this house how I would like to furnish it, but you know, he's trying to put me on a budget, and I'm not as receptive to it. But
Cece said, "I'm just gonna ask for forgiveness later."
For real. And so, you know, I'm a better shopper. Like, I'm a really, really good shopper, and it's funny because Shane and I have this joke that, like, you know, one of the things that I am exceptional at is shopping, which is very true. I'm really good at shopping. And so I typically just do and buy things myself, but it would be nice if he were to listen to some of the things that I speak of that, oh my gosh, this would be so nice, or like I would like this, and he were to just do it. Buy it, you know, and even with like the acts of service, like he's like, well, if you just tell me what you want me to do, I'll do it. I'm like, okay, but I don't always want to have to fucking tell you. Like, I want you to just do it.
Yeah.
Like, just do it. And then that would make me feel good because I don't feel like I'm nagging you to do things.
When me and Dre had that conversation of like I gave him specific things of like, these are all the types of things specifically that I like for you to do. Like when you take out the garbage without me asking, that lights up my day. When you go get the car washed, when you know that we're going to have someone in it, or we have to like go somewhere like valet, like don't have us pulling up in a dirty car, like that means a lot to me. If we are making plans or doing something for like a trip, don't wait last minute to like be a grown adult and like book the flights and like do X, Y, and Z. And I had to give him like specific things that like I really like on a random Tuesday, if you like bring me flowers from Whole Foods, that like really makes me feel good. Or, you know, I like iced lattes if you're just out and you just want to surprise me with that. Like, and specifically, this is actually sad now that I'm getting into it. A lot of it results in food. I was about to say like my toffee cake and a chimas. And so whenever he wants to make me feel special, he usually gets me one of my favorite things, or, you know, so maybe try telling him specifically.
Will say, I have to give my man some.
He get you food.
He does give me food, but I mean, he should feed me. Like, no, so one of my favorite things is white roses. And so he does frequently get me white roses, which I do love and appreciate. However, sometimes they get old, you know, like I guess switch it up a little bit.
Just figure out some simple things and just tell him, and I bet you he'll start doing a little better.
Noted.
But start with like a few things at a time. Don't like overload
the
laundry list.
Because
he'll do better.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And that's actually perfect for this episode too, because I don't want people to think like we're married and so like we're perfect, we have it figured out. Love languages can change, and it's all about communication. Yes. Angela, what were you gonna say about men?
Men are, and we love them. Love our men. We love men. You guys are awesome. But y'all are very different from the way that women think. And
they're not mind readers.
They're actually just joking today. Angela came in.
They're pretty dense up here sometimes.
Angela came in and she was like, of course, Sean was supposed to take care of the rental car. They're going to Miami tomorrow, or Florida, somewhere in Florida. Tampa, there we go. And she was like, and there's no rental cars left, so we are turboing. And you know,
Turoing.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's not bad,
but it's a joke to like contest to the fact that both of our husbands are so, they just delay.
I was in charge of the hotel.
Wait.
Ask me when that was done.
Weeks ago. Next day. Next day, when I like, okay, this is my job, same day. Okay, it's booked. I mean, Shane's the same way.
I don't know if that's like if that's a man thing or like a love language thing, but I just want to say men are different from women, so let's recognize that, and that, you know.
She's like,
they need, if you love them, you know, they need a little bit more
TLC.
Yeah. And I'm sure they feel the same way about us.
They need grace because I can say my man is trying his best. Yes. My man is phenomenal. That's why he's my husband. Like, he does his best day in and day out, you know. But however, we do require certain things that maybe they're not doing to our
and I mean,
and it's vice versa. I think it's a little harder with you guys because your man's love language, the main one, is physical touch. With Dre, he doesn't have that as a requirement. His love language is literally words of affirmation and quality time. That's hard for me because as a woman who is angry all the time and emotionally off her rails, like, imagine trying every day to explain to someone that you love them, even when they're doing things that make you not love them in that moment. And that's hard for me. And I was like, I hate that that's your love language because that's hard.
I know. It's hard for Sean because
I hate that for you.
Sean will always say, actions speak louder than words. But I was like, God damn it, the words hurt me.
Well, see, and that's opposite for same. I'm like, I don't understand how someone's love language can be words because words don't mean anything.
You need to look at what I'm doing.
Like, it's not the words, but it's like a reminder.
It's
like,
a reminder,
you know, I mean.
And sometimes I want to hear like, you're pretty, or you're so bomb, you're fine, you're this. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So, I mean, I would say this. I think that if you guys are watching this episode and you are dating someone with different love languages specifically, I think it's important to, one, read the book, because the book really helps, one, understanding all the love languages. You might realize that you actually have a few that you didn't even know were in your pocket.
And then they change over time.
Yeah, and that's what I like about the book. The book talks about how to kind of deal with the different scenarios and like how as a couple or even as a single person, how to communicate what your love language is and really talk about like your expectations, and even in dating before getting to engagement and marriage, because that's really important too.
It helps with self-awareness.
Yeah, definitely self-awareness. You might realize things because it even matters when it comes to friends. Like, it's not just a romantic thing. Like, I know for certain people what to do to show them that I care. It's funny, Mimi texted me today and was like, let me know when you're back in town so I can take you to dinner for your birthday, because she knows the girl likes to eat. So most of my friends are like, let me know when I can treat you to some food, because they know the way to my heart. So you have to know not only your significant other, but your family and your friends. And I think love languages is something people don't talk about as often. They just come to the table like, this is how I am. And this is what I like.
Like, this is how I show love. So either you like it or you don't.
Yeah. So I would say read the book and then have a conversation. And if you're in a relationship, Cece said this, and we talk about this on so many episodes, you have to check in. I love Sunday talk time that Angela and Sean do. And we actually stole that. We do that now too. And I mean, it's important. You have to constantly communicate because things change. And if your person doesn't know how to love you, if you don't communicate how to do that, then how can they do it, you know? And why go through all the trial and error if you could just say the words out of your mouth?
Yeah. And then also just be patient with each other.
Yeah. Give each other grace.
Like, we are all humans. We're all trying our best. Hopefully you're trying your best in your relationship, and you know, it takes time to make changes that aren't natural to you.
Yes, for
so you have to be patient with each other, be patient with yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself, because maybe you're not, you feel like you're not fulfilling all the needs for your partner.
That just adds pressure.
Absolutely.
And nobody wants you to feel pressured. However, what we're saying is, it takes time. Understand that it takes time, because I mean, it's very difficult to find someone who literally feels loved the way that you feel loved. We all come from different places,
different backgrounds,
different parents,
mamas.
So, right, all of that. So it's very difficult to find someone who aligns with exactly how you want to be loved.
Yeah.
If you found that person, comment below. Good for you.
I love that for you.
I love that all for you. But it wasn't for me. It wasn't for you. It wasn't for you. But we've been together 8 years. You're going on 6. You guys are 4. Like, you know, and we're still talking. We're still figuring it out. And we're going to keep doing it. Things are going to change. Might have more children. Someone might get really ill.
Yes.
You never know. God forbid. But how does that person feel loved in those moments? There's only really one way to know. Yeah. You can't just go in your brain and figure it out. You got to talk. And I'm guilty of this because usually it's my husband, the one forcing it out of me.
Shane too. Shane loves a good check-in, sit down. And I'm more like, do we have to do this right now?
Yeah. And that's amazing. That's awesome. No, so let's give them, we say men are men, but we love y'all. I love you, baby. I know you're watching this, but you're a man and you know how I feel about that.
You're a man and you know how I feel about that. That's hilarious.
But I'm a woman and I know how you feel about it. So, and you know, we like that. We like that it comes together. It takes a lot of work. Sean is completely opposite from me. He feels loved completely different from me. And I've tried over the years to show him that I love him more than he knows. So, and I think he knows that. But there's going to be moments where it slips.
Yeah.
who knows what will happen? It's
Yeah.
just keep talking about it.
Called a relationship,
Yeah.
y'all.
Okay.
Let's cheers to the 5 love languages.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers to better gifts.
Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Let us know what topics you want to talk about, because that's where we're pulling these topics from.
Ooh.
And follow us on Relationship Restored. Connect with the girls. And until next time, y'all. Ciao. Ciao, bella.